Say yes to new beginnings.
Yes.
Say yes to new standards of excellence.
Yes.
Say yes to engaging reportage with a difference.
Yes.
Introducing Yes International Magazine. The time to say yes to your dreams and aspirations is here.
How does it feel, to have defeated an incumbent? You have an incumbent who lost the election to you.
Well, the word defeat, with all respect to you, is not very comfortable for me in this circumstance. Maybe you say I edged out an incumbent. Just an edge, not a defeat per se, because it was a family affair and intra-party affair. It was a contest of brothers and sisters, and I want to view it like that. Okay. That's a contest of brothers and sisters. Just that one person has to be put forward to represent the party. So, besides, nobody has really felt anyhow untoward about the outcome of the primaries. All of us are working together now to see that the party succeeds at all levels of the elections. So, with that kind of spirit, that kind of atmosphere, all we need to do is to be on the same page.
All right. Now, to use your word now, you said what you did was to edge him out. What gave you the edge during the election? Why did you think the delegates chose you ahead of him?
Well, like I said, it's an inter-party affair, so delegates must have, we addressed the delegates, I did, he did, all of you did. In politics there are groups and there are caucuses. So I want to say it's kind of there are intricacies in politics. It's not about personalities alone most of the time. Personalities are okay. For me, for him, we are both okay. So but then at times, the intricacies come to play the forefront role. So I think it should be the alignments and the affiliations that we had.
All right. The people of Kosofe constituency too, what are you promising them? What plans have you got for them, if eventually you get elected, to represent them at the Lagos House of Assembly?
Well, I'm promising the people of Kosofe constituency adequate representation, effective representation, dedicated representation, committed representation, and a wholehearted representation that I will dedicate myself. I'm going to only apply myself to make ensuring that the good of the government gets to them. I'm not going to be in an executive capacity where I will say probably I will build roads, I will build houses for them, but I'm going to influence those things to come to the area. I'm going to enjoy the peculiarities of the area. I'm going to propose legislation that will enhance the security of the area. I'm going to propose legislation that will promote peace, tranquility, and well-being in the area. We have peculiarities in the area. I know what I'm saying. We have many markets. It's one of the area that has the largest markets. The largest food market is here. The largest foodstuff market is here. The largest medium depot is here. And so on and so forth. The largest spare part market is here. So many. I'm going to, propose legislation, and I'm going to propose to make the people feel more comfortable doing their business. We are going to give them a kind of cushioned atmosphere to perform their businesses without any letter of interest or harassment from any agency or other people who are meddlers and not even supposed to interfere or stop businesses that they're doing. We are going to see to it that infrastructural upliftment becomes a lot of the people in the area. Not because I'm going to provide infrastructures, but we are going to make a case. The population of Kosovo is the third, Kosovo largest, Kosovo 2 is the third largest in the state in terms of delivery of votes, eligible number of votes, number of eligible votes, and even actual population. So we are going to bring this to the front burner for the powers that be to see why they cannot afford to toy with the good people of this locality.
All right. You had a larger than life image, about 10 years ago when you were the chairman of Kosovo local government. A lot of people would have expected that you would go for maybe you would have been made a commissioner, House of Reps, Senate, or even aspire for the governorship. But here you are running for the House of Assembly. Why is this so sad?
Thank God. Thank God. What is important is not capacity, but it's about the delivery. I think that's what the party wants at this point in time. That's the capacity the party wants me to serve. That's what the party wants, and I'm glad to be chosen for it. Well, like I've said, there's nothing wrong with being a governor, for example, or being a senator. But then, as a senator, as a governor, I will have to serve. As a member of the House of Assembly, I have to serve. The capacity may be larger, it may be lower. It doesn't matter. What is important is if you go to the House of Assembly, I'm going to work like a senator, for example, that means I will be working to excel and to showcase that we have what it takes to do better. So it's a kind of, I think it's an acid test, a breeding ground for me to show what I can possibly do better in future. And it's an opportunity for me to put to practice some of the things we have preached in the past, and to let the people see, especially the party, see that we have some raw talents within us that we can exhibit. So let me say that I thank the party for giving the opportunity to serve in the House of Assembly. And let me say that I will thank the people, and I appreciate it if people can endorse me to go into that capacity. And let me say that when I excel in that capacity, it's the people themselves that will give me higher qualities.
All right. You were out of government, for over 10 years, but in spite of being out of government, you were still your usual self, bubbling, looking good and everything. How did you cope in those over 10 years that you were not doing anything politically?
Well, it's not entirely correct to say I was not doing anything politically. I was relevant in my party, working behind the scene to support those to see in our public offices. We have played roles within the party to support those people that you see who are the high flyers in society within the party. So we have been one way or another involved in the political process. But the truth is that I've not been in the limelight, I've not been in the forefront.
So how did you cope in those over 10 years?
Coping in what sense? Like, as in
financially, taking care of your needs and everything.
But well, as you know that God has been kind to me. I'm not a pauper, and I'm not a lazy man. I'm not in governance for the perks of the office. Perks will come, no doubt about that, and they are welcome. But that they have my own basic ways of survival, aside of relying on the perks of office to survive. I can, take care of myself, pay my bills, and look after my family.
All the while that you were not, occupying any political office, whether elective or nominal, what would you say was the greatest lesson you learned, about having power and no longer having power?
Yeah, the greatest lesson I learned is that having power in Nigeria is almost sine qua non. It's very, very essential. Not because of the economic aspect of it, but because of the relevance in society. We observe that many people still don't know the basic tenets of democracy, and we are the people. But when our organization is wrong, when our orientation is warped, we seem to influence things negatively. The people themselves should know. A personality is a personality. An intellectual is an intellectual, regardless of whether or not it's in any public office. We should not confuse public offices with the caliber or character of personalities.
Why do you think people should vote for your party, APC?
Well, thank you very much for that. I almost missed that out. Because at this point of Nigerian history, we should know that what should be paramount to us, what should be preponderant to us, what should be of equal importance to us now is the positive change that we need in Nigerian politics. The change is now more necessary than ever.
Your party is presenting Mr. Akinwumi Ambode, the PDP, which I consider to be the closest rival in the state, are presenting Mr. Jimmy Ambode. Why do you think Lagosians should give their vote to your candidate, Mr. Akinwumi Ambode? What stands him out?
Without sense of modesty and without denigrating or impugning the caliber or achievements of anybody, Mr. Jimmy Ambode, with respect to him, is of no match. That's what respect pedestal to Mr. Akinwumi Ambode. Mr. Akinwumi Ambode is an accomplished professional, an extra brilliant person that God has endowed with raw and crass intelligence from the cradle to now. This is a man who qualified as a chartered accountant at age 24, then went to master's degree at that time, became permanent secretary under 40, and retired in his 40s. So let me tell you, the man is extra gifted by God. But you see a man of endowments, please recognize him. He has been tested, has been trusted. He has been. How many people will quit office as a candidate without any blemish? Contrary to what some loafers were saying the other time, he gave me a commendation when he was leaving office. It was a shocker to everybody that an accountant general sitting on the throne of fortunes of Lagos will quit office to go for other challenges. Private sector to have experience. So as apart from having the public doesn't experience for so long, he started from the grassroots, treasurer of local government councils, to go to state level. He left all those, went to the US again, back to the US to broaden his knowledge, and came back and floated the private sector establishment, which he was excelling very well before his calling back to take the mantle of leadership. This is a man that has been here and there and everywhere. A man that has seen it all. This is a man, what I want to bring out is that he's a man that has a raw bubbling energy in him. He has super class intelligence in him. And don't forget, he's a member of the system, he has been a member of the system. He knows what it takes to govern Lagos. He knows what the requirements of the people are. Having been a grassroots before, having been a grassroots man, having worked in local government service for years, having been at the state level where he knows about the workings of the state. So this is it's not a time for experimentation. It's not a time for trial by error. It's a time for somebody who knows and knows, and who can just continue from where the good strides of a conventionalized will stop.
What do you like most about being a politician?
What I like most about being a politician is the opportunity to be involved. Because it's a privilege. Because when we're talking about in Lagos State, we say we have about 21, now we have about 21 million people estimates in Lagos State. If we have 40 people representing these people, that's our Senate, for example, 24 people representing the House of Representatives, about 40 commissioners, governor and deputy. All these people are no more than 70 people. So if one is privileged to be one of those 70 or less than 100 people, I think you should say that privilege. Okay. So that privilege is there, and what I want to employ that to achieve is, apart from the relevance, is the ability to affect. You can affect people positively through public office. As a lawyer, I've been able to affect people. As a businessman, I've been able to affect people. But to employ and apply the common words is easier and it's better and it's more appreciated by people.
So what don't you like about being a politician?
What I don't like about being a politician is the the intrigues, the unnecessary intrigues. There are intrigues everywhere, but the unnecessary intrigues, the mediocrity, the pulling down syndrome, the lies, the subterfuge, the deceit, the shenanigans, the chicanery, all these are negative to my own.
What is the costliest mistake that any politician can make?
The costliest mistake any politician can make is to take the people for granted. You not take the people for granted. The people, you must maintain your link at all times. Whenever you find yourself, remember, you do not jump there. You do not use the force of gun. So people may find themselves somewhere because some people achieve greatness, some are born great, and some have greatness trusted upon them. As we struggle to achieve political office, some have these offices ascribed to them without even having to struggle for it. So it depends on different strokes with different strokes. But if you find yourself, either you struggle for an office or you find the office bestowed on you, please never you take the people for granted. Whether you are appointed or elected, always remember that it's not autocracy, it's not a dictatorial regime, it's not a military regime, it's a democracy, and the people ultimate power resides in the people.
All right. Some people are.
And not just about that, it's about doing their will and caring for them and making sure that they're happy.
Okay.
You must feed their pulse at all times.
So what has it not done for you?
What policy has not done for me is to give me the opportunity to really possibly affect them. I have not been able to affect people the way all we wanted to. But people deserve a better deal. And I think I want to be the president of Nigeria one day soon, by the grace of God. If I can be the president of Nigeria, I don't mind if I'm going to remove me within 1 year, because I know many people are there who cannot even stand positive change. So,
what is your definition of politics?
Politics to me, some people say politics is simple amalgamation or arrangement of people for the cause of power. That's what they say. But to me, politics should be a kind of a means to an end. Politics should be an activity or a calling or a phenomenon whereby you arrange people to affect people positively. That's the kind of way I want to define politics. But some people define politics as well. It's a simple, it's an arrangement of people to quest for to request of power. What they do with the power is not part of the political definition. But to me, what you do with the power is very important. It's not just getting the power that's important to me. It's what you do with the power.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jim.